What's going on, guys? JPB Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday. And for today's gameplay, we have Adventurous Pranks versus a Sword Soul matchup, with my opponent playing Sword Soul going first. Now, yes, I did draw into 2 copies of my skill drain. I know you guys are gonna tell me, JPB, you're saying you're unlucky, but you do draw into your floodgates pretty often. And this is one of the situations I did draw into my floodgates. But unfortunately, I am going second. This hand would be an insanely busted hand going first, but going second, not much. So with that, the opponent does the full Sword Soul combo, okay? He's gonna go Moye, show Ashuna into Grandmaster. Grandmaster will search him for the Long John. Moye draws him a card. Long John obviously pitch out Vishuda, go into the Barone. Now, in this specific situation, I did not know, okay? We don't know what this card is. This card could be a blackout, and if this card is a blackout, I instantly lose the game. I cannot push over blackout plus the Barone Omni on the field. Not to mention all the hand traps that he could have had in his hand, right? Because Sword Soul players, they usually require 1 card for full combo anyways, and then they do play a bunch of hand traps as well. So I was praying, okay? The only way for me to be able to play around this is to hopefully draw into my adventure part of the combo. It doesn't have to be the full combo. Even if I draw Faithful Adventure, I could push into this field. And lo and behold, we actually draw into a Faithful Adventure. So with that, first order of business is use the Faithful Adventure to try to bait out Ash Blossom or the Barone Omni, whichever way. Do not ever put the card in the same column as the face down card, because you never know, that card could be imperm. Don't ever do that. With that, we get the Enchantress search. I pitch out the Enchantress, and then I banish the Enchantress to search for the right. Now keep in mind, guys, okay, if you are ever in a situation where your opponent does this specific play and they activate right, and you have an Omni on the field, do not ever use your Omni on the right. You might want to use the Omni on the Enchantress, because if they have 2 rights in their hand, you are essentially, by using the Omni, you're negating the activation itself. So for the game, it thinks that this card never went through. So that means if I had another right in my hand, I could actually use the other right and go into my token. So this is like one of the worst ways to utilize your Omni Negates. Never ever do this. Unless you know for a fact that the opponent has no other play besides that, don't ever do that. Okay, so now that takes care of the Barone Omni, right? Now our next order of business is the Grandmaster Monster Negate, and we don't know what this face down card is. Could be Imperm, could be Blackout, could be a Forbidden Droplet, could be a Call by the Grave. If it's a Call by the Grave, we can cross it out. Imperm, we don't care about. Forbidden Droplet, again, we don't care about, right? The only card I was worried about, however, was this card being a Blackout. And if it's a Blackout and he activates Blackout right now to pop these 2 cards, my combo is done. I cannot play the game anymore after that. But turns out, not a Blackout, right? So we get our full Prankets combo. I'm even going to chain block my first graveyard with my Faithful Adventure, go into my Doodly Doo for the full Pranks combo. Now, with the cards I have in my hand, I have enough on the field to lethal my opponent. But once again, let me pause right there. As you guys just saw, my Doodly Doo search went through, okay? Usually, Sword Soul players will use the Grandmaster to negate out the Doodly Doo search if they have a backup option left on the field, which this guy did not. So this leads me to thinking maybe, just maybe, this card might just be an impermanence. Like at this point, I'm having my doubts that this card might be an impermanence. So to go into my access code combo, I need to first bait out the Grandmaster Monster Negate, and if this card's imperm, I need to get both those cards baited out. So I'm going to try to do that, right? We get the Panday, I'm going to use Pranks, pitch out a card, bait my token. Now over here, I actually misplayed. I could have lethal my opponent this turn itself, but I misplayed heavily. As you guys know, the Pranks token is a non-effect monster, so you can attach the Draco back to the Pranks token. If I had done that, I could have bounced out either the back row set card or the Grandmaster. In this specific case, it would have been the back row set card, but I forgot to do that, unfortunately. But that's okay, we live and we learn. But with that, we continue on with our play. We burn, we get the Roxy's, we go into Bow Wow. Roxy's is going to activate. We're going to throw away one copy of Skill Drain. I actually managed to draw into my copy of Nemesis Flag, which is again pretty huge, a free body on the field for us to use to go into our access code. So we do that, and once again, I try to bait out the Monster Negate from the Grandmaster, or if the card is in the back row, and Imperm with the activation of the Nemesis Flag. This flag will search us for our corridor. And as you guys know, once we activate access code, we are required to banish a Link monster, right? That's gonna allow us to put a corridor on the field as well. So basically 2 free cards, and one of them being a card search lock, basically a floodgate on the opponent. So with that, I get the corridor search. He doesn't negate this, he lets it go through. So with all the cards on the field, I decide to go into Goddess. Now this guy was holding on to the Grandmaster Negate for his dear life, okay? So he never used it, so I decided to go into Goddess. Now this takes care of 2 problems. At this point, we already know this card's not a blackout. If it was, he would have used it way earlier, but it's not a blackout. So if this card was a blackout, it would take care of this card as well. This card would become a dead card on the field for this turn, because he requires a worm type card for a tribute, which I am taking away with the Goddess, right? Goddess takes away the Grandmaster. I'm going to activate Goddess, negate all the monsters on the field. With that, go into Instant Fusion, into Rocket Ride. Now, once again, if he had Imperm and he Imperms my Rocket Ride, I will have no further combo extension. My access code will not come on the field, and my corridor will not come on the field either, because in my banishment pile, I have no monsters currently. So he could have avoided this whole play if he had just not been greedy with the Imperm. So with that, I get my 2 cards, we go into the code, and in the middle of the 2 activations for access code is where the opponent gets a window for their card activation, right? He uses the Imperm and Imperms my access code. Now, once again, as I'm telling you guys this, or I told you guys, if he was smart enough, he would have Impermed my Rocket Ride, and I would not be able to put the Colossus on the field. This Imperm on access code does not matter, because access code banishes for a cost, okay? It's not for an effect. The effect is popping a card on the field. So for the cost, I banish out my doodly-doo, so I have a monster banished out, which means even though access code is negated, I still get the corridor on the field into my Colossus card search lock. So I basically get 2 floodgates on the field. After that, we start popping. We hit the opponent for as much damage as we can. We set down our cards and pass the turn over. I even ended up drawing into the 1 single copy of Maxi that I do run, which is pretty insane, because as we know, this guy is playing Sword Soul, and Maxi does kill them. So obviously, draw phase, we instantly Maxi. This guy decides to take the Maxi challenge. He goes into Tenny off of the Ashuna, activates Vishuddha, bounces out my Skill Drain. Now, Skill Drain, I was hoping that it stays on the field, because Skill Drain allows me to just kill this turn completely, but that's okay. If this guy goes for a Shaman play, we win the game regardless. So that, he specials out an Ecclesia. We had Ash. The first card we drew up from Maxi was Ash Blossom, so obviously we are going to Ash Blossom the Ecclesia. Do not want that going through. He activates the Ashuna, puts the Adara, and then goes off into Shaman. Now, I don't know if this guy read cards or does read card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or he knows how Goddess works, because Shaman states that you can discard 1 card and target 1 worm monster in your graveyard, special summon it. What Goddess says is that if an opponent tries to special summon a card from the graveyard, you can, as a quick effect, negate the activation. So I believe this guy never knew what Goddess does, or decided not to read the card, but he still goes Shaman and tries to activate it to get the Moye on the field. We just use Goddess, negate it, and with that, he passes his turnover. I mean, he took the Maxi challenge. We have more than enough materials in our hand to just kill this guy outright. Like, I have more than enough to deal 11k damage. Like, that's pretty nutty, okay? So with that, we popped the card. So last card he had in his hand was Sorcerer Emergence. Colossus blocks the search out, so he would have had the card to show for the Moye if it went through. But once again, Goddess negated that. And with that, we pop the opponent's field completely, go into battle phase, and kill him. That's going to be it for today's gameplay, guys. If you guys do enjoy this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank game video uploads. And if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing off for today. I'll be seeing you all in the next videos, guys. Peace!